Hello everybody and welcome to this week's video. I'm going to be spending the next week with you guys doing bookish things. So I think the plan is we're obviously going to read some books, hopefully. I've got a little book haul to start off with. I've got some jellycats coming. I might reorganize my bookcase. You can see behind me it's a little bit, there's just a lot of stuff on my bookcases. And you can see like half of this one is a wardrobe because I've run out of space. So it's a little bit messy, but to start with, I'm going to show you the books that I've bought in the past few days because they've all just arrived, which is nice. So the first book I actually bought in person. I bought 7 Summers by Page Toon. I got this in WH Smith for I think £9.99, which is annoying. I wish I'd bought it in Waterstones to get the points, but it's fine. It's fine. This is actually recommended to me by my best friend. I think her favourite author is Page Toon, and I have never read a Page Toon book. So I saw this and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to get it and I'm going to hopefully read it this week. So she has warned me though, it's apparently very sad. So I don't know how I feel about that. But looking forward to reading this. I don't really know much about it. I read the back and it seems quite interesting. Like there's a 6 Summers Ago thing talking about Liv and Finn working in a bar, and then a night of passion ends in tragedy. Interesting. And then this summer, Liv crosses paths with Tom, a mysterious newcomer. As the wildflower bloom, they begin to fall for one another, and Liv starts to picture a world where her heart isn't broken each year. Now Liv must make an impossible choice, and when she discovers the shocking reason that Tom has left home, she needs to trust her heart even more. So it kind of feels like there's a mystery element to this, or like a thriller or something. I don't really know what to expect going into this, but I am excited to read it, and I'm going to document it on here because then my best friend can see everything I think. So I've got that one. Then I have got some parcels, so I'm obviously going to open them off screen because I don't want to dox myself. And immediately I've pulled the tab. That is all I got off. What is the point of these tabs? They never work. So the first book that has arrived, these are from Waterstones, the next 3 are from Waterstones, because I had some points to use. So I got Clean Point by Meg Jones. I basically bought this just because someone said it's like challenges, and I loved challenges, which apparently is controversial. My boyfriend hated that film, so I don't know if it's like a girl thing or but I do not know too much about this. They are obviously tennis players. So let's have a little skim read of the back. So we've got Scotty Sinclair is a cheat, or at least that's what the world thinks. After all, who would believe her story that her own father secretly drugged her? And then skipping down a little bit, we've got Nico Kotas reigned over the tennis world for almost a decade until an injury took him from the baseline. Now with a clear bill of health, he's hungry for one last title, but his public image needs a new game plan, and according to his coach, partnering up with his former rival's daughter would give him a perfect advantage. So I'm kind of getting an age gap from this, just from the back, because like if it's his former rival's daughter, he must have been around for a while. So, but I'm excited to read this. I haven't read a tennis romance before. It feels a little bit random. Like I think this is the only one I've seen. So gonna read this at some point. I don't know if I'll get to this week or if I will stick to the others. Oh my god, and there's a song at the start of every chapter. Oh, this is beautiful. I love it already. And the first one I saw was a Taylor Swift song, so perfect. Love that. Oh, this is great. Maybe I will read this week because I love a good playlist. So we've got this one. Then next up, hopefully I can open this without scissors. Oh, and I can. The next book we've got, again from Waterstones, is The Ride of Her Life by Jennifer Duggan. This is a random one. I really wanted to read a sapphic romance, and despite the fact I own at least 4, I was like, I'm gonna buy a new one. So I've got a sapphic sapphic cowgirl romance. Again, I know nothing about this really. The first line of the back is just an irresistible enemies to lovers, grumpy sunshine queer romance. So I'm interested. Seems fun. I believe we've got a city girl moving out to the country, so I think that's the premise. I don't really know. Oh, this book is so stiff. Oh, I don't like that. Very, very stiff. But either way, again, I don't know if I'll get to this one. I'm not really sure what I want to read this week. I know I'm definitely going to read Seven Summers because I told my friend I would, and then I know I've got to finish Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, also for the same friend, because I annotate these books for her birthday. We're on book 6, so I'm getting there, but I'm only 304 pages in, and this book is 600 pages long, so we'll definitely have to carve out some time to do this. And then the final book that I've got, which I think is one, oh, move the camera, I think is one that I'm gonna end up reading this week because I'm interested in it. It caught my attention and I bought it immediately, so let's get into this. Oh, it's packaged really weird. It's like folded in half. Is, oh, it's stuck as well. Face Off by Chelsea Curto. So this one I don't know too much about either. It's a hockey romance, I know that, but they're both hockey players, which is different to what I normally read. Are they maybe enemies to lovers? I don't really know. Ooh, the bottom says they tell each other their friends with benefits arrangement is only for the season, but despite facing off on ice behind closed doors, the pair is nothing but fire. So definitely interested to pick this up. It's absolutely huge as well. This book is a brick, and again, it's got a little bit of flop, but not too floppy. Whereas Seven Summers, look at the flop on this. So happy about that. So I think I'm gonna start Seven Summers today. Other books that are on my radar, I've got, if anyone likes Taskmaster, there's a book of behind the scenes stuff from Taskmaster called An Absolute Casserole. I want to read that. I'm interested in reading The Wedding People by they're all up there, I've got them on a little ledge, by Alison Espach. I'm interested in that. Heavenly Bodies, I've recently joined Ellen Catherine's Patreon, and that's the book club book for March, and it's almost the end of March. I haven't read it, so I'm gonna read that at some point. And I have this stupid goal to read all of Abby Jimenez's books in April, and I've only read one, so I need to read 5 of them so that I can then read Say You'll Remember Me the second it comes out. So that's like a rough idea of books that I have on my radar at the moment, but I do think I'm going to start with Seven Summers and then possibly go straight into Face Off. Maybe I'll read them at the same time because I know this is on Kindle Unlimited as well, so I can read it on my Kindle. I don't know if anyone else does this, it might just be me, but when I'm reading multiple books at the same time, it needs to be through different media. So if I read one physically, I can read one on my Kindle or on an audiobook, and I like that separates them in my mind, but I can't read 2 physical books at the same time unless it's Harry Potter, and then I know that story inside out so I don't get confused. So that's the plan, so let's crack on. I don't know what you're going to see next, but hopefully it's me reading. Might be a bit shaky because I'm holding my phone to film this instead of propping it up. In fact, I can tell you now it is definitely shaky, but I have done a few bits and bobs since my last update. So you would have seen me reading the Taskmaster book, which I finished. It was fun, but nothing too, like, not too much to write home about, you know. I've actually also read Face Off since I last did a check-in. I loved it. 5 stars, easy peasy 5-star. That was incredible. I've put up a new bookshelf. This is my newest edition, which I will show you momentarily, but I have also just done my March wrap up, forgot the word then, so I don't know how to do this without showing the rest of my room. I have a bunch of books to put away, and you can see my shelves behind me. They're a little bit messy, so I thought I would show you a before and after of what they look like. So from a distance, here's what we're working with. You can see there's a few boxes and random stuff that's just sort of on the shelves, not where it needs to be, some hangers, and obviously some missing books that I've taken off to read. So I'm going to show you that, possibly do a time lapse of me putting stuff back on the shelf, but I'm not quite sure where to put my phone to do that because, as you can see, I don't have very much furniture that side of my room. And I'll show you the after and anything that I really change, because I know there's a few books on there that I'm going to take off and unhaul. So I'll show you when I finish that. So the changes I've made, starting with my fantasy hardbacks, is I've put Heavenly Bodies up here. I haven't read it yet, but it was just sat on the side because I didn't know where to put it. I have switched out Fear the Flames from being on display and put Our Infinite Fates because I thought the cover is just gorgeous. And normally I have a picture of me and my boyfriend here, so that little gap isn't as obvious. I've obviously filled out this shelf a bit more, so we've added, I think all of these were on my TBR shelf and these two, and then I've added Wings of Starlight, which again is the only one I've read. I've just run out of space. I have obviously added Wild Side by Elsie Silver, which is now completing my little mountains. And then you would have seen me also doing this earlier. I've now got a TBR prompt cup to film some videos with, so hopefully these come in handy. I've taken off the Dream Harbour series from this shelf, so that's what that little gap is there, and I've added the favourites and the wedding people on here, and then obviously the rest is all just Magnolia Parks. My Harry Potter shelves, I've mainly just tidied up and taken some bits and bobs off of them and added some Funko Pops. I have so many Harry Potter books, it's kind of insane. I do buy them secondhand. The only copies that I got firsthand are these ones because I couldn't find them secondhand anywhere, but all of my other ones are secondhand, so I don't feel too bad about that. Up here, this is my favourite shelf, I can't lie. We've also got my little jellycat of a lemon or a clementine, don't know what it's meant to be, on top of 7 Year Slip. But the main additions up here is I've swapped out Lana Ferguson's books for Cara Bastone's because I feel like these fit the vibe a bit more. And I've got a special edition of The Dead Romantics I've made space for over here. And I think my Abby Jimenez book is still over there somewhere. So I don't know what I'll do when I've read more of her books and transfer them over here. And then finally I have filled out my Hunger Games shelf. It is complete once again. So obviously put my books back on and added Sunrise of Reaping. And then my little romance shelf is now completely full. So no idea what I'm gonna do with that. And then I thought I'd show you this shelf whilst I'm here. So this is all my romance TBR. This and another little cube shelf I've got, but I thought I'd show you because I put my little jellycats on it, and I got this little cloud jellycat earlier today in the post. I bought it on eBay secondhand again, so that's really cute, and it sits above the rain cloud, the rain drop, which I thought was really sweet. So there you go, that's my newest shelf, and I've got a little croissant and puppy down here as well. So that's, I think, all of the changes I've made to my shelf so far. So a little bit of a jump from the last clip, which I think was me doing my bookshelves, to another mini haul. I've got 2 more jellycats. I bought them secondhand off eBay, as I do with pretty much all of my jellycats. Like I bought a few in I think Waterstones and maybe a smaller shop in Oxford when I went there, but I tend to buy them secondhand just because it's, I don't know, it feels more environmentally friendly than buying a shitload of stuffed animals. And you know, sometimes they're cheaper if you win a bidding war on eBay. So that's, I thought I would show you the 2 that I got. I actually bought 3 because I bought one for my friend for her birthday, the same friend that recommended me 7 Summers. So I'm not going to show that one because I don't know, I think she does watch my videos, and I don't know if this is coming out after or before I'll see her next. So, and they came in the actual Jellycat bags, which normally they don't, so I'm really like happy to have little Jellycat bags. I got, I think earlier, did I show earlier? I got the little like white cloud. So to go with that, I've also, where is his face? I'm very confused. What's on the front? These are smaller ones. I don't know if this is the same on the bigger ones, but their little faces aren't visible, which is a shame. But I got the little grumpy cloud as well. You can see he's got a little frown. So cute. Weird texture. I'm not a fan of the texture, but I got this one. I think this was like about £14 on eBay, which is, I think, pretty good for this, because I can't remember how much it was when I saw it in person. It might have been about £12. So, you know, £2 extra, I'm kind of fine with that because I couldn't find it in person anyway. So, and I just got the little charm version of him because I thought the big ones would be a bit much to put on a shelf because I'm running out of space to put these up in my room anywhere. So I got this little guy, and then I also got a slightly bigger one. I did not know what size this was going to be when I ordered it. I'm so glad it is like a good manageable size, I got the little bee. Oh, his wing's a little crooked, but I'm sure I can like flatten him. I just thought this was really cute. I have a running joke with one of my uncles about bees, so I thought this was like a fun nod to that. And obviously, like, I like magnolia parks. Kind of for the life of me remember why bees are relevant to that, but I know everyone associates it with bees, so I thought this would be cute next to my magnolia parks special editions. And his name is Albie, which is cute. Like, the amusables don't tend to have actual names, I don't think, so this I thought was really cute. And he's got extra little arms. Oh, he's just so cute and so fluffy. I love this. This might be my favourite jellycat I own. Saying that, is it? I don't know which one would be my favourite actually, but this is definitely like a top contender. I'm a big fan of this bee, so that's that. And I think, actually no, I'll give you my reading updates and then I'll say what I think the next and final clip will be. So, as stated, I have started Seven Summers. I haven't got too far into it because I started reading it physically, wasn't really getting into it, so I've switched to the audiobook because, as I said, I'm reading this for a friend, so I want to obviously finish it. I don't want to DNF it, and I'm really glad I did switch to the audiobook because I just got to like the reveal of the, how do they phrase it on the back? So it says, when a night of passion ends in tragedy. I've just got to the tragedy, so I'm glad I've got to that point because now I'm slightly more intrigued as to what's going to happen next. So I mean, it's going well. I definitely wouldn't have picked this up of my own accord. Paige Toon's never been an author that I've seen too much about, so she's never really been on my radar, but I definitely think this is going well so far. And then, not to hype it up too much, but obviously I absolutely fucking adored Face Off when I read that earlier in the week, and I have ordered myself the second book, which is Power Play, but it's also on Kindle Unlimited, so I've started it on there. I'm on chapter 12 so far, so I'm literally 20% in, but I am obsessed. I am absolutely obsessed. Chelsea Curto, take my money. Take my money. I'll have the whole series now, please. All the special editions. Absolutely obsessed with this. I know I love a hockey romance, but I think the last one that I read was, what was it? The Briar You series by Elle Kennedy. I read that and I did not enjoy that at all. So I'm so happy I've liked this, and it isn't like a hockey romance thing in general that I don't like. I'm so happy that I love this. I've entered a giveaway on Chelsea Curtis' Instagram to get some like cool editions of them as well, and my mum entered it too, so hopefully, I mean, it's a slim chance, but I really hope I win because I'm obsessed with this series already. I'm like 1 1/5 book into it and I'm in love. So yeah, there's that. Very happy about that. And there's a new book in that series coming out next month, so absolutely banging. So happy I got into it now. And then what I was going to say is, oh, actually, my next clip, I'll be showing you. I spent the morning making an Excel sheet of all of the books that I currently own physically, because I was interested to see how many I had, and I love to have the little organised, like what genre I have the most of, and like a tracker and stuff. I love an Excel spreadsheet. I don't like it when it's relevant to my job, but I love it when it's relevant to my personal life. So I've made one of those. I forgot to film myself doing it because I couldn't think of a good angle to have it, because obviously you'd have to see my laptop screen, but I'm going to show you that now because I love it. And I was so surprised at how many books I had, but I did factor in any duplicate copies I have, like if I've got a special edition or something, because this was about how many books do I physically own. So I don't think I missed any, but I'll show you that now. And then I can, like, I definitely made some spelling mistakes when I was doing it. I kept missing out the N in romance. Don't know how that happened. But let me rearrange because you're currently propped up on my laptop and I will show you that. Hopefully the angle isn't too dodgy here because you are just propped up on my duvet. Can't tell, you can see a little bit of duvet there, but it's fine. I've got one of the funky laptops that becomes an iPad, so I thought I'd show you on here. I did, oh dear. Why is it being dodgy? So I made my little Excel spreadsheet of all the books I own. I've got a column that says read, so if I've read it, obviously I'll mark it. The title, the genre, and if it's a special edition, because I tried doing it where I had all the authors' names as well. It was just a bit too much going on and I kept forgetting authors' names when I was doing it. So I'm really happy with this actually. The special editions I've got, I have sort of named them weirdly because I couldn't remember what most of them were called. So let me see if oh, why is it being weird? I have not used the touch screen on this very often. So the options I've got for special editions are Waterstones, because I didn't know if it was like anything else other than a Waterstones edition, so that'd be like my Powerless and Reckless with the reversible dust jackets. I've got sounds really weird, if I've got something in hardback and paperback, I've written hardback as the special edition because obviously it costs more. So for that would be like my Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I've got a paperback and a hardback of that because the hardbacks are gorgeous, and I've annotated the paperbacks. I've got Fairy Loot, that would be my 2 Ashley Boston books. I've got Beach Read by Emily Henry from Books Please. Again, I don't know if that's actually what the special edition is called, but that's where I bought it from, so it made sense to me. And then the only one that's a little bit dodgy, oh actually no, before I get to that, so I've got a lot of copies of the Hunger Games. So not all of them are special editions as such, but I just thought I would like put down what they were called. So we've got the cloth bound, which is like the fancy ones with flowers from Waterstones. I've got the original copies in black. I've then got, I think it was like the 10th anniversary set, it's in white. And then I've got the new covers with the like bright coloured spines. I've got my Magnolia Parks books in cloth bound. And then the one where it gets a bit messy, I have 4 sets of the Harry Potter books. So I was just coming up with random names as to what to call them, because they're not special editions, but they are different editions, which I thought was good to specify. So I've got my original UK covers. I've got, I think it is called the signature set. I've got one next to me actually, so I'll show you that. Oh, she says knocking everything over. So I think these are called the signature set because of how Harry Potter is written at the top. I'm not entirely sure. Low-key kind of ugly, but these are for my own personal annotations, so I thought that's fine, they can be ugly. And like some of them are cute. I really like, it might be the Philosopher's Stone one I really like, I can't remember. Maybe I'll do a video talking about all my Harry Potter stuff if you guys want to see that. Obviously the author is a bit dodgy, but the books are still fantastic, let's face it. They are amazing books, and I personally separate the art from the artist in cases like this. So if you want to see all my Harry Potter shit, so happy to show it to you. But that was one of my editions. I've then got like a full set that shows Hogwarts on the spine. I think you would have seen it when I showed my bookcases. That to me is a special edition because that was the only set I've bought brand new, so that was kind of fun. And then I've got like the new covers with the different colours, and there's like a stretch across the spines that shows pictures. I don't know what that set is actually called, but I have that. And again, they're not technically special editions, but my copies of All the Young Dudes, because they're fan fiction that someone's then printed and made a cover for, I thought that was cool. So I would count that as a special edition because that doesn't really exist. You can't buy that in a shop. I had to order it on Etsy. So that's that. And then other Harry Potter things I have, I've got the first 2 books in Spanish because my granddad lives in Spain and he thought it was a cute gift, so I've got those. And I've got a random copy of Order of the Phoenix that's like black, and I think is a phoenix on the front. I don't know what edition that's called, but I've just called it Fancy because I didn't know what it was. And that again was a gift from one of my uncles. So that's all of that. And then hopefully this shows on screen because I don't know how else to do this. You can see at the bottom I've got like other tabs. So I've got one for fantasy, romance, manga, litfic, mystery, and then a tracker of everything I read. So that was just for me to get a grasp of how many books I've got in each category. And then my tracker, I haven't filled it out yet, but again, that is split into obviously the months, then the genres, and then I'll give a total of like, by the end of the year, how many books have I read that were romance, how many books did I read in January, that sort of thing. Just because that's how my brain works, I'd like to know those things. I know for a fact that I'm going to read the most romance this year, but I'd love to know like exact margins of how much romance I read compared to everything else. I know last year it was quite a big difference. So, and like my whole goal this year is to diversify what I'm reading genre wise, because as much as I love romance, I am desperate to be a fantasy girly. I need it like I need air. I love fantasy books, I just don't have the brain power to read them all the time, so I thought this was a good way to try and like get myself to read them. And then grand total of how many books I physically own, because I mean, that is like the primary reason I did this. According to my statistics, this is not including books that I have pre-ordered or know that I'm getting for my birthday, because I will add them as and when I get them. I have got 304 books, which is insane. I did not think it was that many, but I also can't say I'm surprised. So I have a lot of books. And then let's find out how many of those I have read, because I feel like that's a good thing to talk about. So how many have I read? Oh, this might be more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Let me put it back in laptop mode because I don't know how to use the touchscreen properly. Let's find out. According to this, I have read exactly 200 of the books I own. That is so fun. Oh, I love that for me. Which means that my TBR is 104 books long. I thought it was like 70. I thought it was 70. That's humbling. That's humbling to know. But this does give me a goal now, because I know how many books I'm aiming to read this year. So my goal is set at 100, and currently I've read 42. I've read 42 books this year. So realistically, I think I could finish my entire TBR by the end of the year, as it stands right now. It's ambitious, but if I'm reading around 14 books a month, like I read 14 books in March, I read 12 in April and 16 in January, so 14 would be my midpoint. I think it's doable. How many months have we got left? 9. So yeah, I could absolutely read all of those, I think. But again, maybe I'll mark them on here, which ones I had at this point in this video, and maybe I'll come back to you the next doing book things and explain how many I've read. Will anyone be interested in that? My goal this year, basically, I know I've bought almost 80 books just this year, which is insane again. And my goal is I'm not going to just get rid of those books before I've read them. So at bare minimum, I'm going to be reading a shite load of these books. So I might keep you in the loop about how many I've read. That would be fun. But anyway, that is the final clip for today, and then I believe the next clip you will be seeing is going to be on Saturday when I go and get my bookish tattoos. So I'll see you then. I'm so excited. I literally can't even. I'm so excited, and I will see you then. So final updates. I did get my tattoos, which is why I'm sat in a weird angle, because one of them is on my back. So I thought I'd show you those because they are kind of bookish. Like, I was really in a fantasy mood. And I decided to get 2 fantasy tattoos, and then I read a book recently and I loved it so much that I've got the title of it tattooed on my arm, because I loved the messaging and the theming of the whole book, and I just thought it was really cute, and I'd love a reminder of that story. So the first one I'm going to show you whilst I'm sat like this is I got a little sword on my back. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. If I go like that, hopefully you can see it. So cute. I love it very much. Then I will spin back around and show you I got Promise Me Sunshine written on my arm in the font that the title is on the book, and it's next to my sunshine tattoo. So I thought that was really cute. I absolutely adored this book. If you want to see my full thoughts on it, you can either check out my March wrap up, which was last week's video, or I believe the video before that was me reading new releases from March, and so it's in that as well. And then finally I got, and this one's a little bit messy because there's a lot of ink around my arm, so I've tried to clean it up as best I can, but I got a little dragon coming out of a book on my arm. I absolutely love this one. I was really nervous about how this would turn out. I think it's really cute. It fills the space so well. So there's my tattoos. I love them so much. My tattoo artist was so quick with them as well. Like, it only took 2 hours-ish, roughly, because there was a bit of talk about the designs and like trialing the sizing and printing them. So it's so speedy, and if anyone's interested in tattoos, I would say my back hurt the least. Weirdly, I thought that would hurt the most, but it was actually really nice. You could sort of feel the vibration through your like spine and a little bit on your ribs. I really liked that. I love feeling the vibration when I get tattoos. So that one was fine. Loved that one. Then Promise Me Sunshine was, it was fine. It was a little bit stingy towards like down here, but again I think that's because it was all filled in, so she had to go over quite a few times. And then the one that hurt the most was my dragon, because the further round, I don't know if this is the same on everyone, but especially on me, like here was really sore. So like doing the, don't know if you can see, it's like dotted, so every dot obviously was a little bit stingy, but none of them like hurt. It's just like the tickly stinging. I'm obsessed with them. I absolutely love my tattoos. I'm definitely gonna get some more in the near future because I want to fill out these bits, so when I'm on camera you can see like this bit. But I have a lot of like real estate up here. I have a birth control patch that I wear, so sometimes you'll see it in my videos that will squat out on either of my arms because it switches every week, so I have to be mindful of not getting anything that's gonna have to sit on. So I mean, I have still got a lot of space on like the back of my arms. I want to get some more on those, because as much as this one's a little bit waffled, as much as I love my little moon and my butterfly, they're looking a little bit lonely back here, so I definitely want to get some more. I'm so obsessed with all of my tattoos, but oh my god, the one on my back, I'm so happy. But that is the end of this video. As always, if there's anything you want to see from me, let me know in the comments. Any books you want to see me read, basically just anything. If you want to say anything to me, comments is definitely the best place to reach me, or you can check out my Instagram, which is Amy's Always Reading with a full stop between each word. And I think that's everywhere. I'm not really on anything else. So, but if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you next week.